It's day 11 of my 20-day decluttering challenge, and today we are doing part 1 of my living room. So this is going to be a 2-part video because my living room is on the bigger side. I do like dividing it into 2 halves. Could I do the whole thing in one day? Yes, but I also don't want to burn myself out for the rest of the challenge. And I think today I'm going to do that half of my living room. I'm going to do like my desk, half of my plants, and our bookcases. I usually start on the other half, but my pets are sleeping over here today, and it was a very rough weekend for them, just with us being busy, and then my son from college being home and then going back to college. They're a little off, so we're gonna let them rest. So enough talk. Let's get to it. So this is the half of the living room that I'll be working on today. It has my desk, it has a bunch of my plants, it has our bookcases. As you can see, my upholstery cleaner from last week from doing the cleaning closet is still out. I still need to try that, so I will take care of that today. So getting ready, getting the hair up, I'm going to pick a spot and work clockwise around the room. So I'm going to start off by doing my floating shelf above my desk. I am just starting with the things that I can see. This is a really good thing to do if you only have a few minutes to declutter, is just look at the things you can see, because that's going to make the biggest impact. So there is a container of wildflower seeds here. I pulled the seeds out so we could plant them, but I really like the container, so I'm going to leave that here for display. And then continuing with things that I can see, I am working on my desk. This is the little caddy with all my pens and stickers and highlighters for my planner and my to-do lists. And this is going to make a really big impact because the amount of times that I've reached in lately for a highlighter and it hasn't worked, and then I've put it back in my caddy. Like, why am I doing that? If it's not working, just throw it out. So I'm just going to go through those and sort through them. A really quick, easy task, because when you sit down to work, you want to make sure that whatever writing utensil you pick is going to work immediately. So just working on that really quickly. And as soon as I'm done with the highlighters, I'm going to continue working through the caddy, because this middle section, it's been really hard to put things away lately. So something else you can do really quickly, you only have a few minutes to declutter, take care of something that is driving you crazy. So this is going to be an easy fix. There's Post-it notes in here that were all scrambled at the bottom. I'm going to go through my stickers because I know that there's a bunch of stickers here that I'm just not using. So why am I keeping them? Just going to try and do my best. As you can see, I got up. There was a really big noise and my house started shaking. I wasn't sure if there was an earthquake at that point or what exactly was going on. There's construction on our road. So I got up to see, is everything okay? I didn't even realize that the vibrations from the house shaking affected my phone on the tripod. So I just went back to work once I knew things were okay. I'm so sorry about that. They've been doing new sewer lines on our road and putting in new gas lines. So because they've been digging up all of our yards and things, they're going through today with it's like a compactor, and it's just an attachment, and they just put it on the ground and it shakes everything. Like, it drives my animals crazy, it drives me crazy, but because my tripod is on its last legs, the attachments aren't very good, so all of the vibrations caused my phone to tip. So I'm really sorry about that. I don't know if you can even hear the noise. It's ridiculous. It's special. So back to work. So as you can see, it has been kind of crazy, noisy, loud, all of that lately. My caddy is done, so I'm moving on to my drawer. The drawer has been just full. I can't find anything lately. Both of my boys have recently discovered new hobbies within the past year, I'd say. and one of them is really big into Pokemon, and the other one is really big into Magic the Gathering, and they are starting me on my own collection. As you can see, I have some Doctor Who Magic cards now, so any random cards that they give me, whether it's like actual playing cards or just the full art cards just to display, I've been getting put into my desk. I do have a binder with my Pokemon card collection in it. It is very small. I love that they are excited that Mom wants to take an interest, and they're like, I don't know. I am enjoying their hobbies with them. So I'm just trying to sort through everything and put it and just make it a little bit nicer. So a quick 5-minute thing could be going through a desk drawer. I did put the art cards into a little, like my magic art cards into a little box, and then my playing cards into a binder. I am going to go back and redo that because if I get my own like magic deck, I want to, substitute in my playing cards, and it'll be easier to grab them out of a box. So that is something I will be going back and changing. And then I pulled all the Post-it notes out of my caddy because, as you could see, they were just a mess and getting ruined in there. So I'm going to put those into one of these containers, and then the other container will hold like stickers and my little binder with not Pokemon. It's a Pokemon binder, but it's for my magic cards. Just trying to organize things. I wanted to see if I could put my stickers in there because I don't like seeing it in my caddy, but just wasn't going to work out very well in the drawer. But I think I figured out a way to make it function and not be quite so messy and just be easier to organize. Moving on to our plants, and if you have plants and they're looking a little sad, some 5-minute tasks could be throw out ones that are being a pain in the butt. It is okay to throw out plants. I have a couple that kept threatening to die. I think one of them officially did die, and I was just tired of like stressing out over them. So I said, it's okay. I'm gonna let them go. I'm also tidying up their leaves. I haven't done this all winter, so as I go through and water them, any leaves that are like falling off or have fallen off, I'm going to make sure that I just put them in the garbage, just really tidy up this area. And then I'm also going to clean up the table, my plant table, to make sure that like it's dusted, because it's just hard to dust this every week, and just make sure that like any water spills that have happened are cleaned up, and just really try to make this a little bit of a nicer spot. So while I work on my plants, I want to just remind you that clutter is not just items that we're not using in our home that we need to get rid of. It is not just broken things in our drawers that we need to throw out that we haven't been throwing out. It is anything in our home that is robbing us of our peace. I love my living room and it stays fairly tidy, but I do have a hard time relaxing when I know that there are things that need to be done in here, like decluttering my plants, throwing out the ones that are dead or that I'm tired of fighting with, going through and removing their leaves. Maybe it's, getting the cobwebs, thoroughly vacuuming my floor. Anything that causes us stress in our home can be clutter. So when I'm doing my declutter challenges and I'm doing things like my plants, a lot of people don't see that as clutter, but to me it really is. And I have noticed since doing this task that I feel a lot better in my living room, and I'm actually able to rest better and recharge my batteries after a long day. I will be the first to admit that didn't click into my brain until probably a couple years ago when I don't even remember where I heard it from, but the silent to-do list, where there's just things that we know we have to do, and it doesn't really make it onto our to-do list. So it could be like chipping paint. It could be, oh, I need to fix this item, or, oh, I have to make sure that I do X, Y, or Z thing at some point. It's just those things add to our mental load. And once I realized that, I was able to understand clutter a little bit better and the whole process of decluttering. I wish I could figure out where I heard that from, because I'd love to go back and like listen to it more. I think there's a book on it, or maybe it's a podcast. I'm not sure. But when we start thinking of all of those things as clutter and we start taking care of them as we're able to without burning ourselves out, our homes really do start to feel like those places of rest and peace that we so desperately crave. So yeah, me taking care of my plants is a chore, but I love my plants. And then just making sure that I declutter them and do this process really does bring such rest to me. Like I said, I don't have my vacuum cleaner today, so I'm just using the broom as best as I can, sweeping out under the plant table from leaves that have fallen and underneath the brown love seats. Usually there's like some food wrappers and things like that like my kids have left, like that have gotten like stuffed into the cushions, that because this is a recliner will actually fall through. But surprisingly, there weren't any today, so good job to my kids. Just a lot of plant leaves because Mama has not been taking care of her plants lately. All right, now we're moving over to the bookcases. I'm watering these plants. These first two ones have holes in the bottom, so I actually put them in this big pot over here, just in case any water comes out the bottom of the pot. I don't want it to like ruin my bookcases. So I put them in there, I water them, and after a while I will put them back on the bookcase. All right, books. This is such a hard thing to declutter. Books are just like, I would almost put them in the sentimental category, just because if you love to read, like books tell such great stories that they are hard to part with. So if you are going to look through your books, I would look through them and be like, are there any books here that bring out any negative emotions that we don't like? There are some book series that I love, but reading them is very difficult because it can trigger like my PTSD or my anxiety at times. That doesn't bring me peace. I don't enjoy those feelings, so I've actually gotten rid of them. There is a book in here that I did get rid of just because it was okay. Would I read it again? Probably not. So why am I going to keep it? So anything that brings out negative emotions, anything that we know we will not read again, and then just working on curating a library that we love is really